Hey, what's going on? It's Speed Mac. I'm working on the other video that I've been talking about posting, having to do with the abductions and stuff. But since that's mostly gameplay, it's taking me a while to get it done. So in the meantime, I'm gonna talk real quick about the paradigm and how it relates to the map, and what we need to be doing and stuff. So I'm gonna read a few things from the paradigm, and then I'm going to show you some of the stuff on the map and see if you feel like it relates, because it seems to me it's pretty obvious. But anyways, so part of it says, you are being controlled by lots of powerful forces you do not understand, like gravity. Just as an apple sometimes flies up from a tree and becomes a great eagle, so what seems like greed can in its own way be the most selfless act of all. The most powerful tool of all is the tool to manifest generosity towards ideas and towards the upward. That is, sometimes a peach tree issues forth fire and a great dove becomes born. That dove is money, and the money should be spent by all to achieve manifest generosity, as each paradigm has shown to those who understand. Truth form is important, but it is difficult for the wrong to understand, so ask yourself, am I the right? Yea, to some this will seem hard to understand, but it will be revealed. And to some it will seem hard to understand, and it will not be revealed, because they did not seek truly, because they were the wrong form of bird or topiary. If you seek wisdom, you will pay for it, and seeking and paying are the same thing as is understanding, if you want it to be. If you understand this, you know all things, and if you know all things, you are of craft, just as craft took the form of an eagle or a peach tree, as the literature has shown, and as the tract now makes manifest, likens its generosity, which should be upwards and manifest, and like in truth form, which should be understood. If you are confused, you are wrong, as craft made clear. Confusion was not merely confusion, but a proof of all that is wrong, and if you believe, then nothing is greater than believing completely, and believing completely makes you into the peach tree that flows upward, or the apple tree that becomes a dove, or the other way around. Hear them speak, O lovers of arboreal wisdom. Hold on to the peach tree and the apple tree, and give all that you have in faith, and watch fruits flow upward to a bountiful harvest. He who hungers while others are rich shall someday be rich himself. The lake in which truth lives is very clean and clear, but not as clean or clear as it clean and clear that those who have been shown our truth form have questioned, and have doubted, and have not understood, are themselves not in fact the weak, but the unsavables. By even thinking a question, you are likening yourself to a volcano that sucks lava into itself and explodes down, causing the entire paradigm to implode, and a mighty race of super beings be cast adrift into space, as happened once and must never happen again. To doubt is to wish death on everyone, and that is all the proof you need that the world, the apple tree, the peach tree, the dove, and the eagle are good things and of craft, but there are also many bad things, and those bad things are doubt. And also upward generosity is the most bounteous thing of all, and bounteousness is a mirror in a lake where truth lives. Drink from this lake, and also water the peach tree, but do not quench the fire that brings the dove, and do not pick the apple that may one day become an eagle, a great eagle who feeds from the lake. The literature has been clear on that, and now the tract makes clear. Indeed, there is a lake where truth lives, and in this lake an egg lived, and out of that egg came forth a whole world. And that world was this world, and this metaphor now ends, and a new one begins. The new metaphor is the tract, and the tract is truth, and truth form, and a few ideas laid down, and many left out. No seed is wasted, for seeds of man or tree are a lie. The apple tree and the peach tree lie together in the same orchard, yet there are many trees, just as man of Epsilon must lie with 9 new partners a week, lest he wither at the vine. We are a science and a way of understanding everything, and to know everything is to know that money is your greatest transience of all. Money should not tie you in a place, but free you to give upwards, and to not doubt that doubt so is most complete thing you can do, and that those who doubt are death dealers and haters of the eagle and the dove and the peach tree in the lake of truth, and they wish you dead. Cast them from your lives, and cast a line into the lake, for it will feed you. Everything was, will be, and has a cycle. Just as a fool who saves his fruit sees it rot, a wise man sends his fruit towards the upwards. You have it in you to be happy, but you are not happy because you are surrounded by people who want you dead, because they doubt, and in doubting they prove themselves they are unsavable. So if you cannot kill them, let them go, and move towards the blue light and the lake and the apple and the other metaphors, and away from the empty place in which objection and death unite as one. Upward generosity and acknowledgement of the truth are to us as truth is to the lake, and gravity is to the apple tree, and fire is to water, and doubt is to the unsavorables. Previous ideas have been spoken by all great men of carbon who were often secret epsilonists, although unrevealed until this moment. None are dead. They sit with Chris in physical or cerebral form, and the space travel is complete, both across paradigms and within your Earth time, year 151. This is the tract. It was always written. It was never written. We are all from the same tree, yet no one shall believe that a winged lizard could fly, or a man with the hair color of a rose does not bring doom with lies. This is as true as the evil of doubt. Look upwards and see the stars. This is a kingdom, the kingdom of craft, ruled by Chris, and there are servants and disciples, and the unsavables who become fertilizer. That is a new metaphor that will carry into the next paradigm, wherever it shall lie, even onto bumper stickers. The peach tree talks and the apple tree talks. You hear them and you know. You do not hear them and you know you are a doubter and an unsavable. The cactus only grows from sand. Sand makes an earth partner. From sand comes glass that forms the pitcher of truth from the lake that holds a cutling from the peach tree. And once the earth partner becomes like the cactus, they must be cast out, and a newer, younger earth partner shall take their place. Only the apple tree and peach tree speak. These are the trees we came from, and they are the same tree. Peaches are in fact apples, and they are the tree that was in the lake, that was in the egg, that was near the eagle that I mentioned up above. Do not forget about the dove. The dove is the dove of love and of truth, and this is an old metaphor and one that unites all knowledge under Epsilonism. And like all who pursue truth and love, he does so not just by manifesting upward generosity, but also by killing unsavables in the great fight between Craft and his enemies that has gone on for paradigms. In the fourth paradigm, it was energy. In the fifth paradigm, it was fire. In the sixth paradigm, it was the love of ignorance of the eagle. And what is this thing of which you speak? What is this upwards generosity? It is the most precious thing, the giving to those who do not need, so cannot be challenged for greed, who have so much they do not need any more, and therefore can receive your gift kindly and with the truth form and with understanding that is everything. It is the gift towards Chris, to Chris or any senior Epsilonists who are his form in your life, as all senior Epsilonists are the same spirit and mind form in this paradigm. As the eagle is the peach tree, and the other metaphors also become blurred. It is by asking Chris to receive that we ourselves get the most. That is the clearest thing. Alright, so anyways, all that sounds a lot like gibberish, but remember what I said before. It's all metaphors, and it's all words that it doesn't mean the exact word. You know, get a thesaurus and look at what other meanings that might have, and you know, you start to see patterns. And I by no means have broke all this down and figured it all out, but that's why we're looking at it now. But I'll take you through one part of it that seems fairly straightforward and might give everybody a little bit of faith to try it themselves. So the first thing here is you hear a lot talked about the eagle and the peach tree and the apple tree and the dove and the fire. So the first thing would be the eagle. And down here, I believe this is the MerryWeather base, and on top of that, the MerryWeather's signia is an eagle with red lightning around it. So all these markings of red lightning bolts around, I think it's directly related to whatever this eagle is. Also, if you notice when you mirror this, there's an arrow coming from the eagle pointing to right about, it's where Roy Lowenstein Boulevard and Covenant Avenue meet, just about right there on that corner. And so, you know, that's the eagle that it's talking about. Alright, so before I go any further, let's take a look at this real quick. And this is, you know, it talks about the eagle, and the dove that the flames bring forth. Well, if you look at that, and it's sideways right now, but it's a dove and what looks like flames, and that's the oil field over there. That's what that's talking about. And you see, it's the same thing. This is the same thing. It's just the back. You know, you have the eagle. Okay, well, if you're looking at it from this way, same spot, just flipped over to where the mirror is, you'll see it kind of looks like a tree. And if you're pulling your map out, you'll see it a lot better. But the tree that it talks about, the peach tree and the apple tree, you see the police stations markers are all peach pinpoints, and movie theaters markers are all red pinpoints. So you see what are apples and peaches. Apples flying from the tree going towards the eagle. And it's all about perspective of how you look at it, because you can see multiple things. But it talks about how the peach tree and the apple tree are the same thing. It's just, are you looking at the peaches or are you looking at the apples? Alright, if we're looking a little bit closer here, so if you were to come up from that waterway right there and go up, it says to water the peach tree and to water the apple tree without dousing the flames that brings the dove. So I take that to mean, as you're coming up this waterway, you wouldn't go to the right when it forks, which would go towards the dove. You would go to the left to water the peach and the apple tree. And if you follow that back up, it's going to take you over to the dam. Right? So what we have to do we have to blow up the dam on the way? What are all the triggers involved with it? I don't know, but it's clearly saying that the eagle needs to go to the water that is the dam. So that's where we're at with that right there. And now you might wonder, what is the truth? What does it keep talking about truth in the water, and where would that even be related to? Well, if you come down here to the train, and the trains are very important in this, and you see there's miles and miles and miles of underground train that doesn't really seem to have any particular use in the game, right? But if you mirror it, it says trust. Below that, I don't know if you can see it, it also says catch the arrow. Now it says that right below this arrow that this is pointing to. So could there be something hidden in the water right here, in the water that held trust, and which the egg was once at, and where the whole world came through? If you also notice on the map over here, you can see it a lot better in game, but there's a little dip that the water comes out that's kind of shaped like an egg, and it's connected to like a drainage spout. So if that has anything to do with it, I don't really know. But I would assume that over here off of the pier is where the truth lives. All of this stuff has to do with the paradigms. Also, I haven't spoke about, and I guess I'll put it in this video, there was an album released by Rockstar a week before Grand Theft Auto came out, and it was called the Higher Reaches of Epsilon by the Kifflom Students, right? And that seems innocent enough. It's like 2 hours long of binaural beats. It doesn't seem to mean anything. This album is nowhere to be found now. It was on iTunes, it was on Spotify, it was on KKBox, it was on quite a few other places. I haven't been able to find it anywhere. I've been trying to find it to download it on iTunes or something, and I'm getting nowhere with it. I have ran it through a Spectra View. One of these sites still, even though the album was gone, they still had the clips for the 15-second samples or whatever it was. And I ran it through a Spectra View, and it showed a lot of weird symbols relating to the game, the cross hatchets, the badgers, and some other stuff, but it hasn't shown the whole thing. So what it means, I'm not sure. But so for everyone who thinks I'm just nuts, all this stuff is Jesus toast, it doesn't mean anything, it's not related to anything. Let's take a look at the track names of some of these and see if it sounds like it relates at all to the paradigm or any of the triggers that we might need to bust out with. So we have Bring Out Your Happy. Constantly talks about happiness and elevating, and so 2, listen to the trees, hear the wisdom. It says that peach trees and apple trees are the only ones that speak. So where at the tree does that mean? I'm not sure. Does it mean at the police stations? Does it mean like those buildings that hold the apples and peaches, the radio towers, we can get CBs from them? Who knows? Always pay on time. You notice the website stays open with being able to make donations, and you could just unload as much donations as you want throughout the game, and it doesn't really seem to do anything. So maybe one of the triggers, do you need to spend some money? It talks about tripling your payment. So do you spend I think it's 5,000 and 10,000 you can spend or something like that. So do you need to triple the highest amount? You know, who knows? Peace is both truth and myth. You know, I guess just saying that it's multiple things, and there's you know, the mirroring stuff. Happiness is yours, Kifflom. Number 6 stands out to me a lot. It looks like it's German, and I'm not fluent in German. If it even is at all, it's set up to look like that. But if you sound it out, be the hen und the ocean. Be the hen in the ocean. There's tons of stuff talking about the hen, the egg, returning the bird to the lake which held truth, and then that the egg came from. And so you know, the cluck and bell stuff comes a lot. It constantly talks about bringing the hen back to the spot where truth was, which I'm guessing is off of the pier by the beach or by the airport. There's also circles on the train marking 2 spots out there, so is that something in the water? We'll have to check that out. You know, as far as the hen, I don't think it has anything to do with being the hen in the peyote, even though it could. I don't think that's the only thing, because the original gen didn't have it, so I don't think that they would screw everyone who got first gen. So anyways, I'm guessing that has to do with something to it. Next one's collective vision. Number 8, greatness abounds in certain people. Number 9, purchase inner peace. So again, back to giving money. Number 10, our reality is real, theirs is not. 11 is upcraft of life. And number 12 is shutting down your power. So all of this stuff stands out a lot to me. You know, each one of these tracks are like 7 to 10 to 12 minutes, you know, all in there. So there's quite a bit of stuff to go through. If anyone finds this, that would be great, because I see I think there's a lot of stuff that we could learn from that stuff. So, you know, really, I just want everyone to pull your maps out, pull as many high-res rips of textures and murals and the gallery and stuff that you can find. The next one, well, after I'm done working on the one I'm working on, which will probably be out in a day or two, the last one I'm probably going to do is just going through all of these and seeing if we can make something out of all the clues that it gives us, because there's lots and lots of images of things happening in these, but there's few words. I mean, there's definitely words in each one of them, but you know, there's way more images. So figuring out what to do with all this information, you know, it takes some time. Each one of these things needs to be looked at closely. It's not just something you'll find at a glance. But anyways, hopefully some of this clears it up. If you don't believe me, if you think I'm just full of shit and I'm seeing things, then that's great. Don't watch it. I'm not you know, up until this point, I haven't even given anything as information. I'm just saying, here's the formula to figure it out. So, you know, looking at it this way, I think we're going to figure some stuff out. But anyway, so yeah, checking all that stuff out, seeing what you can find about the dam. If you can make anything else, if you want to go over the paradigm, and if you can find anything else about it, you know, like manifesting generosity seems to be another meaning for seeing the eye at the altruist camp. So, you know, all these pieces. Also, in the very first part of the paradigm, it says we as a people get things backwards. And I believe that the paradigm is meant to start at the end and work its way up. Also, there's the Greek alphabet. There's like 5 different numbers from the Greek alphabet that are the titles of the paradigms. So what meanings those have, I'm not sure. Also, in the gallery, yeah, so a lot of these images have like little letters and stuff down in it. And you know, there's a lot of things that can be seen with these mirrored, but it's still in code. So but when it's just single letters, does it mean maybe folding those together, you know, moving H up to E, or whatever the case is, and what you're seeing then, you know, I don't know. There's this, nothing is unintentional. This is completely set up exactly how they want it. So yeah, just the main things: truth, the train, trust, and truth. There's graffiti everywhere, especially like along this area in the docks and stuff. Definitely mirror all that stuff. I know it's a pain in the ass. If you can get like a little small mirror, just a little hand mirror, that's helped. I do it on the TV and stuff sometimes, but you guys are gonna find so much more than I find. I don't have I don't have the time or the energy. You know, I don't know if you've heard my son behind me screaming and stuff while I'm trying to record this. There's so much. There's so. I mean, this isn't even half of it, but there's all this stuff to go over. You know, and I was just throwing folds in it before and in random ways. But you know, there's murals everywhere. There's all kinds of stuff to go through. We should definitely have this figured out. So, yo, peace, and I'll post another video up in a few days.